Hello everyone. As you all know, we are developing a series. We are creating a series of placement questions. In every part, we are trying to cover at least 15 questions, and this is one of the part. This seventh part, I would say, and we will be trying here to uh, make sure that again 15 questions have been answered. So till now, 6 parts are already launched, and now we are on the seventh part. So I'll start taking questions and I'll be answering. And basically, this series is for freshers and for placement season. As placement is going on, many freshers, after even finishing a course, they are facing a lot of issues in communication. It's not about English communication, but it's about how they represent their answer. So we'll try. So this is one of the question. What is runtime exception and compile time exception? So what is runtime exception and compile time exception? This is majority of the times this question is being asked by interviewers and you need to answer. See, first of all, here remember all exception comes at the runtime only. So how you will be answering to this? You should say all exceptions occurs at runtime, but some of the exceptions categorized as a runtime exception and some of the exceptions are categorized as a compile time exception. Runtime exceptions are those exceptions which are not checked, whereas compile time exceptions are those exceptions which are checked. Means whenever compile time exception is written in a throws clause, then caller will get compile time error. Whereas in runtime exception, if it has been thrown by some method, caller will not get any compile time error. So this would be the answer for this question. Some people find it very difficult to answer. So I would say you can tell another definition, like all the classes which are under runtime exception class called as runtime exception. This is simple definition. And all classes which are under exception but not under error called as compile time exception. So these are the both answers. Wherever you feel comfortable, you can answer. But the first one was really good. Like whenever you call any method which throws a compile time exception, will get a compile time error. The caller will get compile time error. Whereas if any method is throwing runtime exception, then caller will not get any error. That's it. So this you can tell. If you want to speak more on this, you can obviously tell some examples of these exceptions. Next question is checked exception, unchecked exception. Again, this is related to previous question. Checked exceptions are called as compile time exception, where unchecked are called as runtime exception. Same definition, same thing you should be saying. Checked exception means they are checked at the compile time. Don't say they occurred at a compile time, but they will be checked at the compile time. Unchecked exception will never get checked. Basically, it's a developer's mistake. Unchecked exception is occurring means it's a developer's mistake. But don't tell this to interviewer. Just say checked exception are also called as compile time exception, and unchecked exceptions are also called as unchecked exception are also called as runtime exception. Different questions, but with the same answer, guys. Different questions with the same answer. Again, say this thing. Give me some examples of compile time exception. So you should be telling first definition. There are two types of exceptions. Like that, you can start. There are two types of exception. One runtime, another is compile time. Like that, you say. So this is the introduction of a answer. Okay, runtime exception, then compile time exception. Then you should say examples are class not found, then file not found, or compile time exception. Okay, this you should be telling. One more question related to this only, that is runtime exception. Give me some examples of runtime exception. The answer would be null pointer exception, then array index out of bound exception, etc. Arithmetic exception. But after telling this, I would suggest you to speak. Speak means what? You should be telling everything in detail. Like null pointer exception, this occurs whenever we try to call any member with the null object, then null pointer exception occurs. If you are trying to put more elements than its capacity in array, then it is called an array index out of bound exception. If you are trying to divide by 0, then it gives an arithmetic exception. So this explanation is needed. Just only tell that this is what it is in simple terms, direct answer. You're correct if you give direct answers, but it is expected that you speak more. You can see here all the questions are of similar lines. What is runtime exception and what is compile time exception? Same question here, checked and unchecked exception. Then some examples you should be remembering, runtime and compile time, like that. This is runtime exception. So what I will suggest here to every fresher or anybody who's preparing for interview, try speaking more, do mirror practice. In front of mirror, stand, make yourself stand and just speak the answer, then you will achieve more. What is the use of try block? What is the use of try block? See, it's very simple, but how you speak, again, that matters. This again and again I'm telling you guys, speaking and all that stuff. Why? Because people are facing the same issue these days. People know the answer, but they are not able to express. What is use of try block? Use of try block is to write a code, writing any piece of code which might give exception, and we need to catch that exception in catch block. Like that you can tell. मतलब ट्राई के अंदर हमें ऐसा कोड लिखना चाहिए जिसमें एक्सेप्शन आने की संभावना है, जिसमें एक्सेप्शन आने की संभावना है, वो कोड हमने ट्राई में लिखना चाहिए। और उस ट्राई के बाद में होता है कैच, जहां पे हम उस एक्सेप्शन को हैंडल भी करेंगे। Then one more question related to catch block. What is the use of catch block? Very valid question, guys. What is the use of catch block? So it looks simple, but you need to answer it correctly. So what is the answer? Catch block is needed for writing any good custom message if any exception occurs. Don't tell same thing to the interviewer. You can apply your own knowledge for giving this. Another answer is, I would say, to catch an exception. We write catch block. We write catch block. Some people may say, if exception occurs, and on that basis, if you want to perform some operation, then write that code inside catch block. This is also answer. So different variety of questions are there, and different for same question there might be different answers. For same questions there might be a different answers. Now it's your choice where you are finding yourself comfortable. What is use of finding block? So you can say, even if exception occurs or doesn't occur, still you want to execute some piece of code, then you write that code inside finally block. This is a final message which will get executed irrespective of try, completion, or any exception occurs. I mean to say, if exception occurs or not occurs, still you want to execute some code, then you should write that code in the final block. Simple. Now this is question. Can we write multiple catch block for every try block? If yes, then what? You should say, yes, we can write. Yes, we can write. Then you start saying, if you are writing multiple catch block, if you are writing multiple catch block, if you are writing multiple catch block, then you must be taking care. Bigger class should not be in first try block, in first catch block. If your statements interviewer is not understanding, don't worry, you keep writing here like this. Try, there is take some paper and pen and you write like this. And then tell him, hereby notifying, here you should not write bigger exception than this. Bigger means superclass. So see guys, here what trick you can adopt if you are not able to express yourself. If you are not able to express yourself, you are getting confused, take paper and pen and then explain by making some arrows or something. Okay. If these days interviews are on the Zoom, so in that case, you can just use notepad to explain them. But you should be explaining so that interviewer will get convinced. Then there is a question called throw and throws. Many people are getting confused with this. So see, I know this question is a little difficult for freshers. So what you should be doing, just remember 3-4 differences, like throw and throws. So what you should say, this is written inside method. Simple difference. And this is first difference, I would say. Then you need to throw object of a class, object of a exception. Then you can write, if you want to write some condition, then you can mention. For any exception, because it is there inside a method. So like that, simple. Same thing you adopt here, you might be having different. This is at method signature we mentioned. Okay. Then this is throws, we need to mention class, not object. You cannot mention condition because it's at the signature, at signature. So no condition. But if you feel this difference little difficult, you can say multiple classes can be written in throws clause, in throws. Whereas if you find this difficult, I'm removing this. Here, single class. At a time, only one. One throw, one exception. So like that, these are the differences. This question also majority of the times people are asking. This is 100 questions. This is 100 question. Same answer as I told here. These are the 3 points you need to tell. Even if it is difference or not, you are telling difference or explanation, same thing you can apply. Don't burden yourself with the new things. This question also have same answer as that this. It's very simple. Simple. Both questions are same. Both questions are same. Then you go here. Do you know any annotations in Java? You should say, yes, I know. Keep very simple. One override. This is one annotation which is very famous. They are asking you two. They are asking you two annotations. So there are many guys, but I don't know whether you will remember or not. Therefore, keep it simple. Only one you remember. And if you still want to remember, then you can use suppress warning. This will be suppressing your warnings. Okay. So this is also one of the question, very important question. Then there might be another question. What is the syntax of one-dimensional array? This you must remember. This is a very common question, and most of the people forget this. This should not happen. And remember, guys, if you forget like these questions, if you don't answer this, no problem. But if you don't answer this, big problem. Absolutely, you will not get selected in an interview. These are the basic, simple questions. So you must be able to answer. This is a syntax. You can write like this also. If you want to show off your knowledge, as I'm always saying in all the interviews, you want to show off, make little difficult. Interviewer will be more than happy to, ask more questions to you, and he will obviously selecting you. See, this is student array. Show them like this. Don't just make int and string. Because in industry, int and string are very less used. Mostly people are using this type of arrays. Okay. So be careful, be tricky while giving answers. Do not forget to show off your knowledge. If you have, obviously. If you don't have, you should use another tricks. This is two-dimensional array now. So obviously you should be knowing this also. Now again, one more difference. Here two-dimensional array, here one-dimensional. This is must to know. This video or this complete series of videos is only for people, those who are not able to speak. They know everything, but they are not able to speak. Therefore, I am giving here hints. You must remember this question. If you want to skip this question, no problem. It's not needed that you will be knowing everything. Now here, when you give this, he may ask you multiple questions like, if you don't give size, what will happen? Do we need size at both places? Can one be optional? Like that questions will be there. Okay, so this is important. This is mandatory. This is mandatory. This is not mandatory to give size. Okay, so remember this also. Can you reverse an array? Can you reverse an array? Yes, this is very important question, guys. You need to practice it. I'm not covering in this video these logical things, but I hope you will be trying your best. And just I'll give you one hint here. Can you reverse an array? So I will say, can you sort an array? See, guys, one question will be solving your most of the question. If you sort an array, if you learn these, you'll be able to take another questions easily, like find max in array. Second, reverse array. Easy, just put reverse logic. Second largest value in array. Lowest value in array. So these all things will get sorted out if you try to find answer for this question. So these are the hints. So solve one question with little bit tweaks, you will be able to answer these many questions. So guys, please prepare on this. This is very, very important. If you solve one question, you are gonna get these many answers. Just small differences are there. Of this video, now I'm going to take last question. Can you iterate array by using for each loop? You should say yes, like this. For each loop is very simple. These days, industry is using same. So this is an array. You have, let's say, multiple elements. You just put 0 something, then a of 1. And here, guys, remember one thing. If you are preparing properly, if he ask you, if I added one more element, what is going to happen? You should be able to answer. Array index out of bound exception will be occurring. That was the previous question. How to iterate it? Just do like this. For each means colon a, and here you just do int y. like this. This is how it is. It's very simple. So guys, I hope you got one idea how to answer questions and what questions might be asked. These are the basic level questions, guys. For freshers, they are not expecting big, huge logic rocket science unit not to be developed. They don't expect you to develop one rocket science, or they don't want you to launch a satellite. They just want you to know what is exception, examples of runtime, compile time, what is try, what is catch, again, what is difference between throw and throws, like the simple questions. Do you know, did they ask you meaning of these annotations? No, just they asked, do you know any annotations in Java? Can you name them? What I said here, one more thing, if you know only one name, that's okay, that's okay. So very less expectations companies are keeping from the freshers. So I expect and I hope you guys will be following these things. Okay, thank you guys for saying this, and if you feel it useful, then share it with your friends, and like this video, subscribe to channel so that you'll get more and more videos. Okay, and suggest me if anything you need to be implemented. Thank you. Bye bye.